Hey, today let's take a quick look at a chromatic scale. We'll do a 2-octave chromatic scale. And this scale and the technique that goes with it will figure heavily in my latest 2 premium downloads entitled Santana Style and Chromatic Blues. It'll be in the 5th fret position, but chromatic as a rule just means every note. It's not in any key really. Any note you started on, it is that chromatic scale. If you started on an A, it's an A chromatic scale because it's all things to all people. So let's take a look at it. Okay, we're going to start on our 5th fret here, and we're literally going to play every note from here to here, from A to A to A. So our technique for this, it's really a friendly scale to the right hand because we're always playing 4 notes per string, or most always. So you got a nice down, up, down, up. I suggest you play this with alternating strokes. So you got a nice down, up, and then you move to the next string and another down, up, down, up. So we're just going to play all the fingers we got, 1, 2, 3, and 4, from the 5th to the 8th on the 6th string. Now the next note we need is this. We're not going to play it on that string, we're going to play it here. So that brings into play the whole pattern of this thing, which is play out all your fingers, go back a half step and up a string, back a half step, up a string, back a half step, up a string. Now you might have guessed already we're not going to have to go back a half step from the 3rd string to the 2nd string because that would cause us to repeat a note because there's less of an interval between the 3rd and 2nd than there is everywhere else. So having played 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers from the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, we'll do the very same thing on the 2nd string. But now we have to return to our technique of dropping back a fret when we go up a string. So we'll go back to this F. But now we're faced with the problem. We got 1 note too few. So all we'll do is we'll just play another note with our 4th finger. Okay, so going backwards, you might just guess that I'm going to undo that shift with my 4th finger. But I don't think that's the best way to do it. Once we've shifted, once we're there, I want to just start peeling them off in the other direction from there. So we'll go 4, 3, 2, 1. Then, and this is really good for your left hand, a great exercise for you, we got to go to this note. So now when we go to a lower string, we move up the fret that we were giving away on the way up. It's a big stretch. You don't necessarily have to have this finger still here when you go to here, but they need to almost overlap a little bit if you want to get a real smooth sound. So, up a fret, down a string. This time we don't have to do it. We're going back in the other direction across those 2 strings that have the different interval. So, up a fret, down a string. Same fret, down a string. Up a fret, down a string. Up a fret, down a string. Up a fret, down a string. And then, voila, we give away our slide at the other end. So we put it, to make a loop out of this, we had to tack on a note here. At the end, we tack it on the same way. So it makes a big loop. I'll play the whole thing here. And there's your 2-octave chromatic scale. Now if you give that scale some work and really get it under your fingers, It'll serve you well, and you'll also notice that that is figured prominently in my latest two downloads, the Santana Style and Chromatic Blues. We'll see you next time. I'm Jody Worrell.